I read a book on the Spanish flu in 1918, 1919, and how devastating it was. And I saw that an influenza epidemic could, kill millions of people if we didn't implement extraordinary emergency measures. And it made sense to me that this new epidemic might very possibly be as, as severe as the Spanish flu. And so while unfortunately I was not pushing or supporting the public health measures of social distancing, I was not opposed to them either. And so that immediately split me from almost all the right-wing talkers that I'd previously felt simpatico with, from Dennis Prager to Tucker Carlson. So for me, COVID was a key turning point in rejecting a lot of partisan right-wing discourse. What were the key turning points for you?
I think for me it was a little later, and it was the Ukraine war. I remember this very specifically, because in the run up to the Russia invading the Ukraine, I basically swallowed the entire idea that Putin was on our side, that he was this like trad guy that was fighting against the American Satan, the liberal world order, and that he was something else, that he was the leader of this alternative. And somehow I bought this hook, line and sinker, like many people still do to this day on the distant right. You see it, there's so much pro-Russian sentiment, it's off the charts. But in particular, what I'd done is I did a few live streams. Barely anybody watched them back then, barely anybody watched me still now, but even less back then. And I was listening to Vladimir Putin explained to everybody in the weeks leading up to it that he absolutely had no intention of invading anybody. And our leaders, do you remember that this time where our leaders, particularly Kamala Harris, flew over there and they were saying to us, Russia is about to invade? And I was absolutely certain that our leaders were lying to us, because they lie to us all the time, to invade. And I was absolutely certain that our leaders were lying to us, because they lie to us all the time. So I did this live stream where I was watching Vladimir Putin's speech and saying how sensible he was, what an absolute statesman he was, how he was the sensible guy in the room. Our leaders are obviously lying, making it up, saying it's not, that they're just, I forget exactly, but then Russia invaded.